Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another installment of the MRL Fastlane, here for episode 7. Yes, we're already 7 episodes deep into this series. I love doing this. This is your host, Private Patton, and I want to talk to you guys about what the heck happened this past Saturday for the MRL drivers for race number 10 at Dover. Where to begin, actually? I think Dover could best be described as it was the drivers' first real driver track. One that's not really dictated by draft or by a little bit of luck. It's all about how you get into the corners and making sure that you get a rhythm going. Because with Dover, being this very high-paced track, you have to hit the same lines over and over and over. And for starters, Dover kind of caught out some people. We actually got told that in the post race that UK Wildcats, Mopowa Cat, said that he did not think that we were at Dover this week, so he was totally unprepared for this race, which sucks. It caught people out literally in race, I guess, as well as after as well. I have my notes about this race as well right in front of me, and there's a lot to talk about, so let's just get right into it. For starters, we had our first hot seat. BS 14 cars. You may know him from the Xfinity series. BS was super excited for this race, and he actually was able to get on pole with a new addition to the front row, Liam, here in second, to kind of go and spot for a hot second to go to the running order. We had 28 total people that could have raced. 15 people did. So it goes BS 14 cars, Liam in P2, Brandon P3, B-Ride Racing P3 in the 17. Good job for him running that. By the way, I should point out that to celebrate the 4th of July, this was on the... this race was on July 3rd, so to celebrate 4th of July, custom schemes were allowed to be used. So there are some that do take it. I do believe in the back, you see people like Justin Shaka doing it. You have T-Bird doing it. Brandon was one of those that did not. He was running that beautiful Sunny D scheme. He lined up P3. Point leader Cyber P4. Xander in actually one of his lower starting positions so far this season in P5. So that is something that was to be noted, that he did start P5 and he is back here. He was one of those that decided to not do it. Goose P3 in P6 in the number 3. Cade making his start in the 20 in P7. Worst Cod in the 9. Bass, second place in points, did not make the race. So, because of that, BD then lines up P9. Packers also, and this is to be expected, like I said, this was July 4th weekend. There was a lot of people that didn't make the race. Packers also didn't make it, so that's 2 front runners already. UK did line up and take P10. Piper did race P13. Nathan and Rockstar both were super excited for this race, but unfortunately were not able to make it. You can actually see in the comments right here, Nathan even caught the race right here and said that he was not able to make it. He had his little man's birthday. To be expected. Like I said, this is July 4th weekend. Very, very much so. You got to take family into consideration first before this. Justin Shaka then lined up behind Piper. And then T-Bird, Jagger ended up racing, and then our last place was Blicky T, rounding out the rear in P15. So, that is a lineup, and I guess as we kind of just go through the start, to kind of show you exactly how chaotic these starts were, we've actually had a trend now that we actually had 5 cautions throughout this entire span of the race. Yeah, to kind of show you just how chaotic. If you just saw it right there with the 17. I'm gonna rewind just for a hot second. If you hit the apron, like watch. So like watch him right here. We're gonna actually put this in slow-mo. If you hit the apron by any means, or even if someone gets into you, you just shoot up the track. And unfortunately, if there's anyone right there, that is just curtains for that. Fortunately, Liam was able to make it. Did not hit the wall, but that just shows you how much momentum is lost by doing that. So BS gets out to a very good lead, and you can tell the people who have a short-run car as opposed to a long-run car. Yeah, that's another one of those things. This lap 1 illustrates what was the entire race. 200 laps were on docket for today, so this was only lap 1. But it was a good example of why consistency was key. Getting the same rhythm, because the car can just step on out. If you have too loose of a car or too tight of a car, you hit the wall. Right there, BS got loose and loses a lot of momentum to the cars behind. So yeah, essentially you want to run this line over and over and over again. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. So at that point, everyone kind of follows single file. Xander was actually able to take the lead right there. You do see some people moving through the field. That is UK Wildcats right there. Mo Power Cat, as you go by this account. But yeah, he was one of those that did utilize the custom rule for the July 4th weekend. But yeah, it just kind of show you that it's so incredibly hard to pass, and when you do get to the outside, you lose so much time. You have to really pick and choose your battles, and even one of the best in the field does hit the apron, and that allows people to just get on the inside. That is what I'm telling you. Beatty showed a lot of patience right there. He could have pushed the issue, but he decided not to. But that just shows that consistency is key, and making sure you don't get those people. This, much like Bristol, Dover was a race of inches as opposed to miles. Anyway, so we're going to skip forward a little bit here. So at this point, the field is really close together because even though I said this isn't a draft track, you can find the people that, like Blakey T has already found his way up to P3 right here. He is a man on a mission right now looking for P2. Shuffles Cyber to the outside. Brandon then thinks better of it, but he could have forced the issue right there. There was a hole, but that hole was closing fast, so Brandon with that driver instinct, decides, you know what, I'm not going to push the issue, and there we go. So that just essentially showing that the fast cars got to the front really quickly, and then the people just kind of moving to the back. So anyway, right there, but you can see as well that there are people unfortunately getting a little bit pushed around. At this point, I want to point out, I do believe Cade in the 20 had an issue, got lagged into or got wrecked. It didn't cause a caution, but because that he lost so much time. So much so that the leader should be coming up on him right here soon. I think, like, at this point, he's only, like, a quarter of the track away from being lapped right now. So that just shows that if you have a, even if you have a bad moment, you just, yeah, that was, I forgot that happened. That was, so, yeah, right there. I think this causes the yellow. Yep. There is, I think this was our first yellow of the race. Oh, I was rewinding. My bad. No, actually, I forgot. That did not cause a yellow. But anyway, but yeah, that's just what I'm showing. That people kind of going through the field. So, kind of skipping ahead a little bit here. Xander has found himself a massive lead. That is Cyber in the background right there, putting Worst Caught a lap down. That puts Cade not in the lucky dog position anymore. So, Cade has a lot of work to do. Pit stops were happening, and surprisingly, no one got caught out. No one got nabbed for speeding, and Dover, if you guys know, is one of the hardest tracks to get onto. So it's very interesting to see that no one had issues whatsoever getting onto pit road. Yeah, pit stops were pretty clean. Blakey T moves into P3 now. That is Cyber ahead. So Cyber utilizing his Cyber strategy and kind of going through things on the fly. He either used the undercut to gain momentum, or he used the overcut to get better tires on the longer run. UK, though, moving up through the field. Piper having a very good day. He's solidly in the top 10. T-Bird as well. These guys are hanging around the top 5, like 6th, 7th most of the day. Xander, though, absolutely dominant. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. BS was unfortunately our first car. He is unfortunately, as he even stopped on his stream, his internet totally went on out, which I totally understand. It's actually happened to me before. He totally lagged on out, which unfortunately means that despite winning the pole, he will be classified as finishing 15th. So unfortunately, that sucks in terms of like the racer pride, you know. But BS is he's an awesome driver. I know he's very down on himself, which I don't get, but he is a very fast driver, and especially when it comes to the Xfinity Series. He was in here for a hot seat. He's not racing for points. He was in here for a win, but he is looking forward to, and currently on pace to get to the Cup Series next season full time, to kind of show that, hey, you know what, I do have what it takes. I am fast, and today was just a piece of what can be shown. So yeah, we're gonna kind of skip ahead a little bit. You can see that Xander actually nabbed the wall right there. If you guys don't know, Dover has a wall glitch that if you say you were riding the wall, like actually hitting the wall all the way down the front stretch, there's like a glitch, like right around here. That will kind of catch you on out, and if you hit it just right, it will just swing you to the inside wall. It's actually one of the cautions later on. We're gonna kind of skip ahead a little bit. So at this point we had, I do believe this was our third caution of the race. You had a lot of... Cade at this point is fighting for the lucky dog spot. He was able to get one of his lap backs by being on pit road literally when the caution came out. It just so happens that, you know, luck is on your side sometimes. So yeah, right now he's fighting for the lucky dog position with Piper here. There was a long green flag stint, so I do believe at that point like the top 10 were the only ones on the lead lap, or I think it was actually like the top 9. Either way, though, he's fighting for the lucky dog at this point. You find the usual suspects up here: Xander, Cyber, and UK. They kind of follow heel and toe for a little bit. BS even points it out, 1 versus the 18, because they are now 1 and 2 right now. Where have I seen that before? They have a friendly rivalry, saying that that usually find each other in some way, shape, or form, whether it be in the Xfinity Series or the Cup Series. I find it very interesting to see how these little things kind of happen. Same thing with Justin Shackett and T-Bird. Those two always find each other. And actually, we're going to skip ahead a little bit. At this point, the tires are close to being done. There was another caution that kind of bunched up the field. Cade was able to get back on the lead lap. That's why you never give up. Never, ever quit, guys. Cade was able to get back on the lead lap and make his way all the way back through the field. So going at most, I think 3 down at one point because he was off cycle with everyone. Back to the lead lap. So that's how you do it. Searching back through the field. Essentially, the race kind of followed on out with Xander in front, followed by UK, Cyber kind of in the mix as well, in Blakey T. You have Liam right there getting out of the way. He had a little bit of issues both with internet as well as just handling. The car just was not handling the way he wanted it to. But pit stops, as you can see, are happening. So Jagger in the 48 decided to make his stop. They had their strategy going. So those two were basically inverse of each other. But now this means that Jagger is a very interesting scenario. He is on fresher tires compared to these two. They're about to pit here in like the next 5 laps or so. So what UK could do is allow Jagger just to pass and kind of draft his way up to Xander. And hopefully he will get there and make a hole for him to pass. T-Bird unfortunately did have an issue. I forget if he if I was on board with him. I think he may have missed pit road. Yeah, because I think I only see the end of it. He may have missed pit road, and unfortunately had to go all the way around. But yeah, because of that, this right here allows Goose to lead a lap right here, so that's good for him. That's 5 bonus points to add to his bucket. We're going to kind of skip ahead a little bit. So pit stop's already happened. The field kind of evens on out. At this point, I do believe Blakey T then a DNS from the race, so that leaves only 13 drivers on the field. There's Cyber for P2 using his Cyber strategy. UK then goes to P3. Kind of skipping ahead a little bit. Want to start getting this to the end, so I'm not fully talking about just the race recap. Essentially, it was the Xander show. That's him all the way up there. This is P2 Cyber. Xander is that dot right here. So as he's exiting 4, he's going into 1. Yeah, Xander had this race on lock, but that just shows that even the best drivers in Cyber had a lot of handling issues. This track is tough. It's very, very tough. And then we're going to... Yeah, right here. So there was a caution, a late race yellow, going into the finale of this race, bringing it down. UK had a... This is the second green white checkered. Cade, and Nathan says, right, rallying back to a top 5. At one point, UK was right here. On the inside, Xander was able to power on the outside, and then now UK's in the opposite, and you do not want to restart on the top side. No sirree, Bob, you do not want to do that. So I'm gonna let these final 2 laps kind of shake on out. Right now, the UK intentionally kind of woes up trying to get to the bottom here, but unfortunately, and as you're gonna see, I think that was Justin Shackett. That was. No, actually, that was, I think, T-Bird. He was below BD, may have hit BD up into the wall, and that put UK up into the wall. You hate to see it. UK, unfortunately, the biggest loser on this restart. I hate to see it, but now it's a knockout, drag-out fight between Xander and Cyber. Is Cyber going to put the bumper to the back of the 1? Well, we're going to find out here. Final lap of the race. The 14 closes in on the 1. However, the 1 misses it. Oh, and he just plants it exactly where he needs to. Now going down to turn 3, there's the last opportunity for anything to happen here. Cyber takes a wide arc, closes in on the 1, but the 1 holds his line, and there's nowhere for the 14 to go. Xander is going to take the spot, and one thing you didn't see in the background is the 41 back here nabbing his first podium. How he did it was he dove it on down from the 22 right here, and was able to take the spot. Very aggressive, but he went on record in the post-race interview, I do believe it was right here, yeah, in the post-race interview, saying that, hey, he came here for results, he's not here for friends, so... And you know what? At that point, you know, that's on you, if that's what you wanted to say. But yeah, Justin Shackett taking P3, his maiden podium in the series. So good job all around. So let's go to the race results now. So as I said, you have Xander here. I'm going to highlight that yellow because I think it just looks better. Xander ends up winning the race. Cyber, P2. Justin Shackett, P3. BD Deadman coming from 9th on the grid to P4. Justin Shackett actually came from P12, so actually good job for him for showing pace and putting himself in the right position. Brandon coming from P3. He did unfortunately lose 3 spots. T-Bird came from P13, so kind of like Justin Shackett rose his way through the field. Goose actually was P6, so he is very consistent, like always finishing like 6 or 7, so good job for him. Piper coming from P11 to finish P8. Cade, unfortunately, despite having that good luck hit, that final restart did not suit him whatsoever. And because of that, he finished P9, and so dropping 2 places from an initial starting spot. UK, as you saw, the biggest loser on that restart. It sucks to see, but yeah, unfortunately, that's racing sometimes. Jagger finishing P11, and Liam, Worst COD, Blakey T ends up backing out, and BS also having engine trouble. These two are the DNFs. Everyone else finished the race, so 13 finishers, 2 DNFs. And because of that, I did have that pause. Cool. The points. Very interesting shake of events. Since Bass did not race, he drops from P2 all the way to P6. And look at that gap. That since Bass didn't race and BD only finished P4, there was a massive point gain from Cyber. Now, the largest point gain that we have seen in the series thus far. BD, good job for him and Brandon and Xander and UK. So despite finishing 10th, UK still rose in points. All these guys are now up into the top 5 in points, and Cyber now has a 243 point gap over P2. Because of that, because of Packers not starting as well, Goose, US Trek Enterprise, and Piper gained 2 spots. A good job for them, being very, very consistent. Actually, Goose is now also within spitting distance of Bass for P6, so another 2 spots for Goose, and he would have had it. But yeah, because Packers didn't race, same thing with Nathan and Rockstar. They both lose spots. Packers being one of the biggest ones here. Same thing with Nathan and Rockstar. Worst COD solidifies his position, but Justin Shacken and T-Bird are within now shooting distance of his spot in 13th. And then, of course, looking at relegation, we actually did a... I want to start doing a thing now. So Liam is now the person below the relegation, looking to make his way into the Cup Series next season. Let me rephrase that. Staying in the Cup Series next season. He is 5 points away from P15. Now, he technically has his spot looked at for Worst COD, and that is a difference of 140 points. Or, sorry, 240 points. And on average, you have to finish around 30... You have to gain, 32 points on your competition. Right now, it's going to be a tough climb, but he can technically do it. It's going to be tough, especially as we look at the schedule. Next week is going to be Road America. And that's going to be one of his wheelhouses, because Liam is really good at the road courses. I know he has that one circled. And we actually do have another road course in the form of, not the Charlotte Roval. We do have one more road course coming at the end of the season as well. So he is looking forward to it. And because of that, I think he can do it. But however, also news as well, Blakey T is deciding to drop from full-time Cup Series competition and go into Xfinity. So I know technically this is the Cup Series now, but he is now going to be part of the Xfinity Series now, which puts him right here, 6th place. Remember, top 5 gets into the Cup Series next season. And right now it's pretty stacked. So Blakey T looking to gain his spot back there, deciding that, you know what, I can't get into the Cup Series from where he is right now, which is understandably so. With how many races are left, he really can't gain that much on 15th place despite being 18th in points. So he's deciding, no, I'm just going to focus on Xfinity and then earn my way up through there. So good job from him. So yeah, the points shook a lot, actually, with a lot of the front runners. 4 front runners not showing up. So that just shows what happens. That's why I always say put in a lap. But, you know, like I said, life gets in the way sometimes. And this is only a hobby at the end of the day. So there we go. So because of that, I want to move into the power rankings for this week. We have Road America going in, and I know, especially as we look at the stats here, before I go into the power rankings, I guess I should say, I want to point out these stats. Xander now has 4 wins on the season. So despite even his 4 wins, consistency matters. His average finish of 5.5, his Vegas and Talladega and Kentucky technically races, as well as not showing up for Charlotte, definitely hampering that issue. Despite when he does finish a race, besides these 2, he finishes either first or second. I mean, Xander's a monster, but those stats are really holding him down. And technically, he still can have a run at the title. It's just Cyber's going to have to make a lot of mistakes. So we're going to get into that. But yeah, that stat line. This stat line right here is the gold standard that you only hope to achieve. BD as well, coming in very clutch, nabbing his 3rd top 5 for the season. Good job from him. Brandon as well, nabbing his 2nd top 5. Who else had an interesting stat line? Oh yeah, Justin Shackett. Justin Shackett as well, moving up, getting his first podium as well as his top 5. So good job for him. 7th start, and his only finish outside the top 10 was Watkins Glen in 11th. So, and I know he's technically he doesn't call himself a road course racer, so that's what I mean by that. So because of that, he kind of put it on out here. I am actually looking at that for a hot second, just making sure everything's all good. All right, cool. So yeah, I want to move into the what's it called? The power rankings now. So because of that, the number 5 spot out of everyone here, I probably have to put at, especially as we go to Road America, I'm going to put on, maybe controversial, I'm going to put on Liam. I was looking for him right here. Liam, I think despite having a massive point deficit, because like I said, he's looking at worst COD and not so much 15th place for his for moving on up. He's targeting worst COD here, so technically he should be looking at T-Bird. I'm not sure why he's looking at worst COD, honestly, but he should be looking at T-Bird, which is only 140 basically point gap. So definitely he can gain a lot, especially as we have 2 more road courses throughout the season and 1 more super speedway. There is a lot of points to be gained or lost in those races. So I think Liam, despite all of his internet issues, and the people are aware of it, heart of gold, the only thing that holds him back is his internet. I'm putting him P5 for the power rankings this week. Look for Liam to really show up at the road course at Road America this next week. Number 4, I'm going to put as BD. BD was consistent all race. I know I didn't really hit on him so much in the race, but he was always in the top 5 or just outside in like P6. I think BD was one of those is one of those guys that is there, but something just always happens. And I think BD can really make an impact at Road America. Just having that consistency, having that good start and just very good stat line. Like I said, I mean, I know this stat line, like if you look at it, be like, oh, only 3 top 5s. In a field that's so competitive and where finishing positions matter in the grand scheme of things, this stat line is very good. Shoot, look at this. He's 2nd in points. I don't get the people saying that, like, oh, only 3 top 5s. Are you kidding me? He's 2nd in points. 2nd only to Cyber, who has this stat line. I mean, BD, I think, is a fantastic driver and deserves number 4 on this rankings. Look for him to really show up. Also, same thing with Liam at Road America, and show that consistency is key in this format. Number 3, I'm going to put as... and this one is going to be a little out there, but I'm going to put as U.S. Trek Enterprise. And technically, I know you may be wondering, well, why are you putting it there? Goose has a lot of experience on the road course. Kind of like Liam. He has a lot of experience on road courses. And so far, we've only had one road course this season. And it's been Watkins Glen. I'm just looking at these stats right here. Xander absolutely dominated. Spoiler alert for who to look out for in 1 and 2 here. Absolutely dominated that race. That was not even fair. But Goose there, despite that, he unfortunately lost connection and finished P13. But he was like consistently just outside the top 5 when he was racing. So I'm looking at Goose here. Liam as well. Why I put him on this list is right here. He finished P4. And currently that's his best finishing position. Also besides Kentucky, where he finished in that top 5 as well. So I'm looking at Goose to really to make a... I feel like this is my phrase of the day. To make an impact at Road America. Kind of elevate himself away from Piper, who's been kind of clinging to him on the hip, and try to get Bass's position. Now, because of that, I'm moving into first and second. I think, and this is where they're interchangeable, honestly. But first and second are Cyber and Xander. If we're talking like season in terms of power rankings, because they're interchangeable, like I said, season power rankings. Oh, it's Cyber. But if we're looking at for just the race, I'm looking at Xander. So I guess if we're looking for the power rankings going into the actual race itself, I'm looking at Cyber P2, Xander P1. Like I just said, Xander absolutely dominated the last road course. He is one of the best at road courses, and it's going to show at Road America as well. Barring something like Vegas happens, Talladega happens, Kentucky happens. These things, Talladega was out of his control. I don't know if it was a game glitch or what, but Vegas, he sped, killed his race. Kentucky, he sped on pit road, killed his race. As long as that doesn't happen, he should be A-okay when it comes to the next road course. So if we're looking at just the race, I'm looking at Xander for number 1. However, if we're looking at Cyber, I mean, he's good everywhere. I mean, this stat line don't lie. Whether it be a 2-mile speedway, finishing 4th at worst, 1st at best, whether it be a short track like Phoenix P3, Bristol P6, or be just a regular intermediate like Vegas P2, Charlotte P2, Kentucky P3, Super Speedway, we will have one more, but he finished P2 there. This stat line don't lie. And because that's why he's able to have such a high point gap, which, by the way, 3 points separating P2, something to look out for. I think these two are interchangeable. However, I think in terms of the race, I have to give number 1 for to Xander. But if we're looking at like season-long power rankings, I'm looking at Cyber, like hands down. Which leads into the next part of the dark horse. The people that usually aren't up front, or like I guess in terms of the race, ones to watch out for. But I have to give Brandon that shout out right there. Like I said, kind of following in his teammates' footsteps with 1 less start, but the same amount of top 10s and only 1 less top 5. Brandon, I think, is going to be solidly in the top 5. If we look at where he finished at Watkins Glen, it was P7. So like hanging around that top 5 to mid top 10 right there, that range. He had that string of like 6th, 8th, 7th, 4th, 9th, and then 5th. So he's around that, which gives him that average finish of 7.4. I think look for him to be the dark horse. Should everyone in front of him make like a mistake or comes to a late restart, he look for him to show up at Road America. And then lastly, I'm going to be looking at in terms of actual dark horse. I'm going to give it to Justin Shackett. Justin Shackett, I know this stat right here is not going to look good with P11. He was one of the finishers that race. I think, but because of that, Justin Shackett, I think, has a great mentality when it comes to racing. He has that go-get-him attitude. As he said in his post-race interview here, he doesn't come here to make friends. He comes here for results. And so far, in his 7 starts this season, 1 podium, 1 top 5, and 6 top 10s. He's solidly in that top 10 range with a 8th place. And so far, won a road course this season and finishing P11 there. I watch for him. I know he's been practicing a lot, and he is looking to show what the fruits of that practice. So, because of that, I'm going to turn it out over to you guys. Who do you think makes these power rankings? Do you agree? Where did your favorite driver finish here? What do you expect for Road America? We do have a couple times already set for Road America. I'm not going to show you, but Road America should be good. Looking forward to it very much so. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. And like I said, this is your host, Private Patton, here, and looking forward to next week. So, have a good one, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.